Good afternoon.
So today we are going to study the prose that is My Childhood, and it is written by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. It is an autobiography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Can anybody tell me what was the previous record of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam? He was the Prime Minister. Former President of 11th former President of India. And where he was born? Rameshwaram. Right? Now the chapter is related to him, where we are going to study, where we are going to learn a lot of learnings about his own life, a lot of good things that we can inculcate in our life, related to culture, related to intolerance of religion towards our country. We are going to learn a lot many things from this chapter. Let's begin.
APJ Abdul Kalam was born in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. His illustrious career comprised of being an aerospace scientist, statesman, professor, and writer.
So there are a lot many things that he has achieved in his life. He was a scientist, he was the former president of India, and much more. Alright. In this chapter, this chapter, if we divide it, it will be divided into three parts. Where in the first part we are going to study about his childhood, what kind of things he has learned or inherited from his parents, especially his mother and his father. The next part, second part, is about that what are the things that he has learned, his friends, his school time, his childhood, and what kind of a student he was. Clear? And the third part of the chapter is about that what are the learnings he has learned in his life, what he has achieved, and few lessons that we are going to learn from his life. Okay?
Before embarking on his political career, he worked with the Indian Space Research Organization and the Defense Research and Development Organization.
So this is
He was given the
his
nickname Missile Man of India after spearheading several successful missile launch programs. He also played a significant role in designing the Pokhran second nuclear test program. In 2002, he was elected as the 11th President of India. After his presidential term, he authored several books such as.
So can you people read about given in the book and can relate which book is mentioned here out of
Wings of Fire.
Wings of Fire. That was his autobiography which he has written about his life, and this our chapter My Childhood is a small excerpt, a small part which is taken from the book Wings of
Fire.
As Wings of Fire, Ignited Minds, The Luminous Sparks, Mission India, and Inspiring Thoughts.
If ever you get your summer break, you get your winter break, ever you get time, it's my personal suggestion, must read these books. These are wonderful, his work is wonderful, and you will get a lot of things to learn from his life. All the books, just one chapter is here, and we will get to know so many things about the past time, about the World War II, what were the conditions that time, and especially about the community. Today, in the 21st century, it is very difficult to accept Hindus and Muslim all together. But in our chapter, we will study that during this World War II, everybody used to be united. There was no differentiation among Hindus, Christians, Muslims, or Sikhs. Everybody used to pray or used to celebrate each and every festival together. That these contexts we are going to study in the chapter.
He was conferred with the Padma Bhushan, the Padma Vibhushan, and the Bharat Ratna.
So these are the awards, achievements that he has achieved in India.
My Childhood is an excerpt from his autobiography, Wings of Fire. It stresses on the importance of peace and tolerance. It also stresses.
So what does it stress upon?
Peace and tolerance.
Peace and tolerance or intolerance?
Intolerance of religion.
Intolerance of
Religion.
religion. Two major aspects of this chapter.
On the value of pursuing one's dreams and aspirations. Here is the summary of the story My Childhood by APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam narrates the story of his childhood in first person. Kalam was born in the town.
What do you mean by the first person? He narrated the entire by himself. So who's the first person? I. Okay, that's when the entire chapter, wherever it comes I, that stands for Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.
Town of Rameshwaram in Madras, now known as Chennai. Kalam fondly remembers his father, Jainul Abdeen, and mother, Ashiamma.
So these two characters, his parents, are utmost important in the chapter because he has inherited all the qualities from his parents. So the father name is Jainuddin and mother's name is
Ashiamma.
Through his parents, he inherited the qualities of honesty,
So again, he inherited these qualities from his parents, that is honesty, self-discipline, faith in goodness and
Kindness.
Many times in our lives, things happen with us that we stop really putting faith or keeping faith in goodness. It happens? No, never. I brought the best pen of mine. I got it from my parents and on as my birthday gift, and I took it to school. I showed it to my friends and I lost it. What will you feel? You will feel good? No, you will lose your goodness. You will lose your sense of kindness. You will feel bad. Right? But here we learn that there is always something good in something
Bad.
So he says that faith in goodness. Faith in goodness means that if you have lost something, we must accept it as the will of God. Because maybe there is something wonderful which is waiting for me rather than that pen. But what he does, we usually get stuck in the present and we start feeling sad that I have lost that pen. So we must not lose the state of goodness, the faith in goodness in our life. In any worst condition, we must not do that. Okay?
discipline, and faith in goodness and kindness. Kalam, short with undistinguished looks, lived in his ancestral home, which was built in the 19th century.
So
When he was
Kalam was
8 years-
having very undistinguished looks and he used to live where? Where he used to live?
Ancestral house.
Ancestral house.
years old, the Second World War began. India, as a part of the British Empire,
What was the age of Abdul Kalam?
8.
8 years old. During the World War?
was forced to join the war. As a result, there was a curious demand for tamarind seeds. Though Kalam found it strange, he would collect and sell them in the market. Due to war, trains were also full.
Have you ever experienced in life till now? What is your age? 12, 13? 14 or 15. Many of you will be 14 also. Ever you experience in life that there is sudden need of something that you can just pick it or pluck it from the tree and can sell it? Ever till now? Have you experienced it? No. But why do you think at that time he sold tamarind seeds and there was sudden need of it?
There was demand.
Why there was demand? Why? Why there is no demand right now, but there was demand of tamarind seeds?
Because of World War.
Very good, because of World War II. Usually during the war situation, what happens that we get shortage of things. People are not allowed to go out. They are not allowed to live their life. Just recently we have experienced COVID, which is not exactly similar, but something where we get isolated. Right? Many of the curfews and many other things get done and we cannot come out of our houses. So the same thing happens during that time, and he doesn't know that suddenly there was a need of tamarind seeds and he sold them. Okay?
Forbidden to stop at Rameshwaram. As a result, newspapers had to be thrown out of moving trains in bundles. Kalam was employed by his brother to assist him in catching these newspaper bundles.
So Kalam has given assistance to his cousin brother where the Rameshwaram at the Rameshwaram station where the train does not stop because
of the World War.
because there was World War II, and that's why from the running train the newspapers were thrown out and they had to catch it.
Kalam, years later, recollects the pride he felt on earning money for the first time. As a young
So what is the difference between earning money for the first time and earning money formally? Kalam earned his money formally for the first time when?
When there was a high demand of tamarind seeds.
No, that was not his earning. That was not the former earning. Former earning is when you are working under somebody. So he was helping his cousin. That was his former earning. But the tamarind seeds were the sudden demand. So that was his way of collecting the money. Okay. The first earning was when he helped his cousin by collecting the newspaper at the Rameshwaram station through a running train. Clear? But his informer earning was sudden need of
Tamarind seeds.
that is informer because he was not doing any job, no? It was not something permanent.
boy, he had three close friends: Ramanatha Shastri, Aravindam, and Shiva
So
Prakasan.
now these three friends are very important because this is the second part of the chapter where all these three friends what they did in life and their roles are related to each other. Can you, with the name we can understand that Ramanatha Shastri and Aravindam and Shiva Prakasan, three of them are Hindus or Brahmins, but APJ Abdul Kalam alone was Muslim. But still there was no disparity, no communalism among them. The three of them or four of them used to sit together and used to enjoy their childhood and school time.
Though the three boys were from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families, all four of them were very good friends. Ramanatha's father was a temple priest. Kalam's family would arrange boats for the temple during the Sri Sita Kalyanam ceremony.
So apart from being a Muslim, still Abdul Kalam's family used to arrange boats for the Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony. So what is Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony? What is it? It is the wedding of the two idols of Lord Ram and Goddess Sita. Recently we have come across what? Ayodhya, the Pran Pratishtha of Lord Ram. So I think you must be familiar about the concept. Okay, so this is the wedding ceremony which used to happen in the middle of a pond where the platform was made, and the idols used to carry, like just like a wedding procession, the idols used to carry to that platform, and they require boats. And the boats were arranged by APJ Abdul Kalam's family, apart from being a Muslim.
Kalam grew up listening to stories from the life of the Prophet and the Ramayana, thus reflecting the secular nature of his upbringing.
So, in the old times, your grandparents, you will, even if you ever talk to them, you will realize that there was no separation and no differentiation among different castes. Okay, everybody used to be treated equally. So here as well, Ramayana and Prophet, both of the things were taught to APJ Abdul Kalam. Even his mother used to have a temple in the house being a Muslim lady. So we understand that in the older times, the generation, the people used to inculcate a lot of good ideas among their family or children.
However, this outlook was challenged when a new teacher joined Rameshwaram Elementary School. Kalam usually sat with his friend Ramananda Shastri. The teacher, shocked to see a Muslim boy sitting next to a Hindu boy, made Kalam sit at the back of the class. Kalam.
So there was another teacher who recently got appointed in the school, and the teacher did not like that. How come a Hindu boy and a Muslim boy sitting all together on the first bench? The teacher thought that the Muslim boy does not deserve to sit on the first bench, and the teacher told him to go at the back, which made, who was the friend who used to sit with him? He started crying badly and he felt bad that how can my friend was sent back at the bench. But the child couldn't stood up and had the courage to cross question the teacher. Okay.
Still remembers the tears on Shastri's face as he took his place at the back of the class. Both the boys went home and narrated the incident to their respective parents. The next day, Shastri's father called the teacher. In the presence of the boys, he sternly told the teacher not to spread ideas of communal intolerance and social inequality among children.
Because slowly and gradually, whatever we teach children in the school, they will slowly and gradually use those tools, use those teachings as tool whenever they go out in the world. If teacher will discriminate among children, then I don't think that there is anybody who can make them learn something good. So that's why the practice of the teacher was right there stopped, whether the teacher had to rectify himself or herself or need to leave the school. So what do you think the teacher chose? Rectify him or herself.
Then he told the teacher to either apologize or quit. Through this incident, Kalam narrates how adults have the power to influence children either in principles of open-mindedness or communal hatred.
So basically in NCRT or in your exam papers, you can easily get this quote where you have to explain this in relation to the chapter. That through this incident, maybe you can get the core, the power to influence children. Adults have the power to influence children either in principle of open-mindedness or communal hatred. So there you have to pick up this context where something intolerant happened with the Abdul Kalam and he did not feel good about it. He doesn't feel good about it, right?
Good. Kalam then narrates another incident of communal injustice. His science teacher, Shiva Subramania Iyer, had a modern outlook. He tried his best to mix people from different backgrounds. He was instrumental in building Kalam's early education. One day, he invited Kalam over to his house. His very conservative wife, however, refused to let Kalam enter her kitchen or serve him food. His teacher did not...
Okay, so one day his teacher Shiva Subramaniam called him to home for a meal. And as the wife felt very offended, she did not like a Muslim boy in her house and to serve a Muslim boy in her kitchen. Because kitchen is to be used as a temple of the house. So she denied to serve the food to the child, which made Abdul Kalam felt very much bad about it. But the teacher himself, Shiva Prakasan, he stood up and he said that I will serve the food to the child. And he once again called him for meal. And the second time when Abdul Kalam reached his house, he saw that his wife was serving the food to him, which shows that the teacher not only rectified his life but also transformed his life to understand the feelings and the human beings rather than following the culture and communalism. Okay.
Say anything. Instead, he served Kalam his meal. Then he invited Kalam over again. On noticing Kalam's hesitation, Iyer reassured him. He told Kalam that when one decides to change the system, one must face obstacles along the way. The next time Kalam went to Iyer's house, Iyer's wife served him food in her kitchen.
So many times in life, whenever we stand up for something wrong, we definitely face a lot of challenges. The one who stays quiet in the class, never ask any question, the child learns something? No. Might the child will learn when somebody else asks some kind of question. But when you will not stand up for something wrong, for something you want, you will not be able to learn. So we have to face obstacles in our life.
The Second World War was now over. India, under the leadership of Gandhiji, was moving towards freedom from the British rule. At this time, Kalam decided to go to Ramanathapuram to pursue his higher education.
So note this, Ramanathapuram. Again, there is a new place where Abdul Kalam wanted to go for his higher education or further education.
India's optimism was mirrored in Kalam's optimism for his future. When he told his father agreed. On noticing his mother's hesitation, his father consoled her. He believed that there comes a time when parents must let their children pursue their dreams.
Okay. Can you think